we have an update this morning on the health of the U.S. economy. The Bureau of Economic Analysis estimates that GDP fell 0.2% in the first quarter of this year. The last time the U.S. economy saw negative growth was back in the first quarter of 2022. And with the fight over tariffs now tied up in the courts, uncertainty could be a major driver in consumer confidence. So for more, I want to bring in ABC business reporter Alexis Christoforous to talk about this. And so, Alexis, looking at these numbers, what does it tell you about the health of the U.S. economy right now?
So let's start with the good news first, Alex. The good news is that the economy contracted in the first quarter, but not by as much as first estimated. So that first estimate was a contraction of 0.3%. This is a revision. This is what the government does. They revise these numbers a few times before they say it's the final number. And now we see the economy contracted by 0.2%. So a little better than expected, but I think it still underscores the challenges the economy faces moving forward, especially now with the tariff news, President Trump's tariffs being upended by this court ruling, but not all tariffs. So there's still a lot of uncertainty out there. One of the reasons why the economy contracted less than expected, we did see a big increase in imports last quarter because U.S. companies wanted to get ahead of the tariffs and buy up a bunch of products before prices rose. We did see government spending decrease a little bit last quarter. But again, this is not the final word on economic growth. The government's going to revise this 3 times in total. This is the second revision.
Okay. Well, and we talked about the impact of the tariffs being held up at the courts. Stock futures right now are up a little bit after the news that Trump's tariffs have been halted.
Right.
Are we expecting that to stay?
Yeah, so no surprise that we're seeing this nice big bounce back, because if this were to hold true, a lot of the uncertainty for the market would be taken away. But let's remember that this doesn't mean an end to the tariff trade war. A lot of sector-specific tariffs are going to remain in place, for example, on autos, steel, aluminum, semiconductors. But at least for now, there's reason to rally. And also remember, we're still getting some good earnings reports. NVIDIA, which is sort of the king of semiconductors, coming out and saying, earnings were very good last quarter, despite the fact that it cannot do business in China because of the tariffs. Business still booming at NVIDIA. So lots of reasons for investors to jump back into this market today.
All right, we'll keep an eye on the markets. I'm sure we'll be talking
I will too.
later
Yes, we shall.
this morning. Alexis, thank you very much.
Thanks.